One's an icon with a personality as big as his dunks. The other, a basketball prodigy with a work ethic bordering on obsessive. Together, they were a powder keg, and the league had no idea what was about to explode. Let's take a walk down memory lane and remember the chemistry and the chaos of Kobe Bryant versus Shaquille O'Neal.
I want to win, he wants to win, and that's all we're concerned with. I support him, he supports me, we get the job done, and that's it.
I'm the big brother, he's the little brother.
We're very similar because we're both competitive. So we have two competitive guys going head to head. You're going to have fights.
Either Kobe comes first with the jab, and then you follow with me with the knockout.
At the other end, a slam dunk by Shaq from Kobe. Look at this. Take a look at O'Neal, dishing off for Kobe Bryant. Some combo, huh?
When Kobe first landed in LA, he wasn't just a rookie, he was the rookie. Youngest player ever to start in an NBA game. Confident, charismatic, flashy. He talked trash to veterans in practice, studied Jordan tapes like sacred texts, and took 35-foot fadeaways like he was MJ. Meanwhile, Shaq was already a monster, a four-time All-Star, already one of the league's top 5 players, and a human cheat code in the paint.
Shaq getting down court. And the crowd looking for a foul off the contact with the team.
Now that's what we saw the other night. Early in the game, Shaq ran early. He got to the basket. He caught the ball.
At first, the duo was intriguing. Shaq was a superstar. Kobe was the phenom. They had a Batman and Robin dynamic. Except Robin didn't want to ride shotgun. Ever. By 1999, Phil Jackson came to babysit. Coach the Lakers. The Zen Master, fresh off 6 rings with Michael Jordan, saw the ingredients for a dynasty. But even he admitted early on that he didn't know if Kobe and Shaq could coexist. Phil wasn't wrong. Now, don't ride the bench. Get in the game by liking and subscribing. We're diving deep into one of the biggest beefs and best duos in NBA history, and you don't want to miss a second of this. All right, back to the messy drama between Kobe and Shaq. Let's be clear, Kobe-Shaq Lakers were a problem, an unsolvable problem. From 2000 to 2002, they bullied the league. 3 straight championships, playoff runs where they went 15-1. Opponents didn't lose to the Lakers, they got humiliated by them. Shaq was unstoppable, averaging 30 and 15 in the 2000 finals, winning finals MVP 3 years in a row. He was a walking double team, but Kobe, he was evolving, no longer just a sidekick. In Game 4 of the 2000 finals, when Shaq fouled out in overtime, it was Kobe who told him, "I got this." And he did. That was the first crack in the foundation, the moment Kobe realized he didn't need Shaq. But here's where things get messy. While they were wrecking teams on the court, their relationship off the court was a slow-moving train wreck. They threw shade at each other in interviews like they were sneak dissing on diss tracks. Shaq said Kobe needed to learn to pass the ball. Kobe said Shaq was lazy and didn't work hard enough. Shaq joked about Kobe's game, attitude, and eventually his legal troubles. Locker room tension? Try open hostility. These two were winning together, but their egos were on separate planets. Shaq believed in dominance through charisma and raw power. Kobe believed in obsession, discipline, and being the first one in the gym and the last one out. They needed each other to win, and they hated them. By 2003, the dynasty was sputtering. Shaq wasn't in peak shape. Kobe was openly taking over games. The tension had morphed from uncontrollable to radioactive. They were basically coworkers who barely spoke unless it was during a timeout. Look, things were messy that year. The league was changing. Kobe was dealing with his ugly sexual assault case, and it was clear that the Lakers were coming apart at the seams. The vibes in Los Angeles? Not great. Somehow, Kobe and Shaq pushed the Lakers all the way to the 2004 NBA Finals, even adding Karl Malone and Gary Payton for one last super team run. But Detroit embarrassed them in 5 games. Kobe hijacked the offense. Shaq was frustrated. Malone got hurt, and it all came crashing down. The dynasty was done. The aftermath was savage. Shaq demanded a trade. He was tired of being underappreciated, tired of being scapegoated, and tired of Kobe. He wanted out. The Lakers chose Kobe. They traded Shaq to Miami for Lamar Odom, Caron Butler, Ryan Grant, and a bag of peanuts. Let's pause here. Imagine winning 3 titles with 2 generational talents, and then choosing one of them. But to be fair, Shaq was aging, expensive, and increasingly unreliable. Kobe was younger, entering his prime, and rabidly competitive. The Lakers bet on the long game. Shaq went to Miami and immediately won a title with Dwayne Wade in 2006. Kobe spent years carrying a weak roster, beefing with management, dropping 81 points on the Raptors, and proving he was the man in LA. It wasn't until 2009 and 2010 that he got his revenge. Back-to-back rings without Shaq. Kobe even said, "I got one more than Shaq." You know that wasn't an accident. Here's where the story takes a turn. After all the fights, all the jabs, the jealousy, and the wreckage, Shaq and Kobe eventually made peace. Slowly, publicly, and weirdly beautiful. Shaq joined TNT and began showing more respect for Kobe's greatness. Kobe matured, became a father, a mentor, and a storyteller. Time softened them both. In 2018, they even sat down for a televised interview, one-on-one. It was real, vulnerable, honest. Shaq admitted he didn't work as hard as Kobe. Kobe admitted he was hard to play with. They laughed, they talked legacy, they hugged. After years of headlines about how much they hated each other, here they were, talking like brothers. It was beautiful, really, proving that people can really put the past behind them and rivals can become brothers, no matter how ugly things had gotten. Kobe and Shaq weren't feuding anymore. They were family. But of course, life doesn't always let you finish the story the way you want. When Kobe Bryant died in that helicopter crash in January 2020, the world stopped. Shaq cried on air, saying he lost his little brother. He said he wished he had called more, talked more, loved more.
Kobe will show her some new Mamba moves today, and Gigi soon masters them. Kobe, your Heavens MVP. I love you, my man, till we meet again. Rest in peace, Kobe.
You could tell that his heart was shattered, and he was saying goodbye to someone who was so much more than a former teammate. Yes, their relationship was complicated, and yeah, things got ugly. But Kobe and Shaq ultimately truly loved one another. And just like that, one of the greatest rivalries in sports became one of the most heartbreaking. So what do we make of the Kobe vs. Shaq era? Was it dysfunctional? Absolutely. Toxic at times? God, yes. But it was also magic, raw, real, and unforgettable. They were lightning in a bottle, 2 alpha dogs forced to share one spotlight in the city of stars. It was never going to last, but while it did, it was glorious. Together, they scored 3 championships, 4 finals appearances, a 56-20 playoff record, and countless unforgettable moments we are still talking about to this day. More importantly, they showed us what happens when greatness collides, not just in talent, but in mindset. Shaq needed Kobe to push him. Kobe needed Shaq to validate him. They hated each other for it, and they respected each other for it. In the end, Kobe vs. Shaq wasn't just a feud, it was a fire. And for a few years, that fire lit up the entire basketball world. We needed to talk about Kobe vs. Shaq, not just for the drama, but because it was real, it was messy, and it was human. And in a league full of polished quotes and media training, their story reminds us that behind every banner, behind every ring, there are always egos, emotions, people just trying to figure it out. And somehow, that's what made them legendary. From dominance to downfall, their story is NBA legend. If you're feeling the nostalgia, or still Team Shaq or Team Kobe, show us some love with a like, hit subscribe, and let us know in the comments who you're riding with. This debate's far from over.